In the last soundbite video, it was another listening tip where I appealed to you to doubt yourself when making assessments on whether whatever change you've made to your system is an improvement or not. And, well, what that looks like and how to avoid a psychogenic response so that you can make a decision on what's real and not what our brains are very good at telling us is there when it's really not. I want to talk a little bit about, I guess we could call it the mechanics on why what we're chasing is rather difficult sometimes to determine whether a change in state A versus state B in our system is an improvement or not. As audiophiles, we are chasing a lowered noise floor. That's all we're doing. We want to reduce all forms of distortions, and there's many forms of distortions. Of course, we know some of the electrical ones that, THD and intermodulation distortion and so forth, but there is acoustic distortion, there's psychoacoustic distortion, electrical distortion, there's mechanical distortion, and those are just some. These distortions, which are in our system, are in our rooms when we listen, they constitute our noise floor. And where, let's say, the music is up here modulating and the noise floor is whatever, on average 40 decibels below the average sound pressure level in the room, whatever it is. We experience that noise floor as that thing that keeps us from getting more resolution, better separation of instruments, larger sound stage, increased frequency response, better dynamics, better transient impact, etc. It's many different types of distortion characteristics that are keeping us from getting all of these buzzwords that we like to talk about all the time in our audiophile jargon. So when we make a change to the system, what we're doing is we're playing with the noise floor. We're trying to lower it. Well, sometimes the changes that we make are successful in lowering the noise floor, or only part of it, shifting the noise to a different frequency. I've told a story before about the fellow who had his cartridge analyzed for me and was enjoying that and put some footers underneath his phono stage and liked what it did for the high frequencies, thought those footers sounded great there. And then he got the Colossus head shell from me for his Kuzma arm, which definitely lowers the mechanical and electrical noise floor. And so we can be assured that his noise floor had taken a drop, but then he heard all of the great things that come along with having that in the system, but there was one bit that he didn't like. He didn't like something he heard in the high frequencies, but for whatever reason, he thought, I'm going to take those footers out. He took them out, and boom, the high frequency problem was gone. So think that it's important. I know I've mentioned this before in another video, but it's really worth mentioning again. And I've got other stories like this, but it's the one that's freshest in my mind. What happened was that when this fella put in the footers, he was playing at the margins of the noise floor. And those footers did something to the high frequencies that appeared to him, with the noise floor where it was, to be a positive thing. When the whole noise floor dropped because of the introduction of the Colossus head shell, well, then that was exposed for what it is. This is an important lesson to learn, that the changes that we make at the margins may seem to be beneficial right now, but in the future, when we make a big change, whether it's a new amplifier or a new set of speakers or a new speaker setup, whatever, we should revisit our assumptions about what makes our system sound good. And it's particularly the tweaks, in my experience, it's the tweaks and the power conditioning are the first places to go to reconsider your assumptions about what makes the system sound great. Because those tweaks, as we all know, they play at the noise floor. For the most part, they play at the noise floor. And, well, you make a nice big change, you get a new set of speakers, you get some new acoustic treatment in the room, whatever. Revisit your assumptions. This playing about with the noise floor margins, like I'm talking about, can also explain why product A sounds great in my system, but it doesn't sound great in your system. The characteristics of our noise floors are very different. Well, my point here is that when you make a big change in your system where you are quite confident that you have lowered the noise floor in one way or another, revisit your assumptions about what you think makes your system sound good. Because you may find that some previous change you did to your system no longer offers you a net benefit and is actually holding you back a little bit. So go ahead and reassess some of those assumptions. Until next week on the next soundbite. See ya.